Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Brother Sister Show, a family owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, we're talking about Livia's pick, Lake Mungo. But before we get into that, what's up, Livia? How are you?
I'm good. I just got 2 tattoos this morning.
Nice.
And I haven't done that in a really long time. So it was an interesting experience because it was like a flash that I chose from because they had like a good deal on Halloween tattoos. And yeah. And it was super quick. I also forgot, I think the last time I got one was in either January or February. And I always forget how much they hurt. I know they hurt a lot, but I always forget. I always forget until it happens. So that was fun. I really love them though. Right now they're really gross. People react differently. I think my skin is super sensitive, so I always bleed. And this one, I bled a lot. So I'm waiting for those to heal. Or waiting for them to heal for a little bit, a couple of hours, and then I can wash it gently with some water and I think a little bit of soap. I need to look up the aftercare again because, like I said, it's been a long time. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I had a good birthday weekend. I didn't really watch much. We just hung out, and I think I did watch stuff, but I can't remember. But yeah. Good weekend, relaxing weekend. A lot of friends sent me food, so that was nice.
That's all you need. That's all you need right there, food. And
then you gave me a Blu-ray of Cats, which I've yet to watch yet. For the first time. I mean, I've seen it before. I think I've seen it one time, and that was in theaters, and that was a wild experience. So I need to recreate another wild experience by watching it the second time. And I think that will be making Sebastian watch it because he refuses. But I think I can get him to do it. The key is to get a little drunk.
I feel like that was their key, not to watch it, but to make it. They're like, let's just get a little drunk and then we'll make this movie.
That would explain so much. But I wish I could talk about it, but I didn't watch it. I did watch 2 notable things. One is a new show. Well, I don't know. It's not a new show, but it's new to me, called Alone on Netflix. Have you heard of it?
No.
So
I have not.
It's a survival show. And I will say, a warning to people, if you do decide to watch it, it does show the basic premise is that they drop I think it's starts out with 10 people in a random wooded area. I think in this one it was the Arctic, and they have to survive for as long as they can. And you don't know, you're by yourself. And so hence the name Alone, but you don't know when other people drop out. So you can't be like, oh, there's one more person, I just have to outlast them. You just are there. And you don't know that you won until your significant other shows up.
What?
So, and I forgot how long this guy or gal, I kind of spoiled it, but it doesn't matter. I forgot how long the person that won this time, how long they were out there, but I want to say 70-ish days.
Oh, I could do that. Time. Easy money.
No, you could. You get I think you get 5 items you can bring with you, but for the most part, well, the reason I'm saying a warning is that they obviously have to hunt, because you can only live so long off the land and not kill any animals, and they do show a lot of the killing of the animals, and the skinning and stuff. So if you're sensitive to that, then I wouldn't watch it, or I'd watch it with the heaviest of warnings. But for the most part, it's just really interesting to see people, especially the people that they choose, because they're very respectful of the land. There was one guy that didn't want to kill any animals. He wanted to try to not. And then they just really love the nature that they're in. And so it feels respectful. And it's just interesting to just see how people build their little, shelters and whatnot. Some of the shelters look really cool.
How much was a prize?
$500,000.
$500,000? I could do that. Bring your own items? Easy. here's my 5 items. One of those belts. I don't know if you've seen on Instagram or like anywhere where it has like a knife and it has flint and steel, so you can make fire.
A fire starter. See, a lot of them they do bring something like that. I forget what they called it, but it's basically a fire starter. Except for one guy didn't bring one because he was confident.
Fool.
He was confident in his ability to use not tension. What's the
friction?
Friction.
Tension. So you bring that, and then it doesn't matter what the other 3 are. Your last item is Luby's Unlimited Buffet.
Oh,
boom, you're good.
You can also bring a picture if you want.
Why would you waste an item on a picture?
No, you can like. I think they said 5 items and then a picture. It doesn't count within your 5 items.
Oh, so you don't go insane.
I guess some of the people. It was funny. Like, and they do health checks. So I think every now and then they'll go, and then some people they got, I guess, kicked out because they were losing too much weight and it was becoming an issue.
Oh.
But yeah, it's interesting. I only watched the latest season on Netflix. I don't know how many seasons are on there. But yeah, I liked it. It was a nice thing to have on while I was working. And I didn't think I would like it because I know sometimes my parents, or at least my dad, would watch those like hunting,
yeah,
or like not travel, so just those networks that have like people hunting or fishing or whatever. And I always thought those were boring, but this one was pretty interesting. So I was surprised that I was paying attention and I wanted to know who won. So there's that. The second thing was so I watched Lake Mungo last night and I forgot how it is. And so it creeped me out a lot. And I told Sebastian, well, let's watch something funny. And so we put something on. Well, I told him, let's watch something funny. And I don't think he heard me say that. I think he just heard me say, let's watch something. And so we put on Nightcrawler. And I was like, what is this? And he said, Nightcrawler. And I said, oh. So this is funny to you? He was like, oh, no, I didn't know if that's what you meant. So we watched a movie called Work It. Have you heard of it? It's like a dancing movie. It has this one YouTuber. I forget her name. But it was weird. I thought it was a kid's movie, and then it had like sort of explicit things in it. So I was like confused. There were some very small parts. Sorry, I was chewing the wires of my computer. Fun. There were some parts that were funny, but for the most part, it was just like cringy, like super cringy. And like I said, it felt like a teenage like Disney Channel movie, but it was pretty raunchy in some areas. So
was King Batch in it?
Oh, thank God, no. I was waiting for him to show up.
That would have been hilarious.
And the dancing in it was good, I guess. I mean, I'm not a dancer, so I don't know if I can judge it. But yeah, if you want like a silly movie after a scary movie to kind of calm you down, then it's the perfect one, I guess.
Yeah.
What about you?
Parks and Rec is no longer on Netflix, which is a travesty. It is on Peacock, NBC's new streaming service, but Kayla and I, we just been watching a lot of the episodes. When we eat, we just put on Parks and Rec and watch it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they took it off beginning of October. But we've been watching The Office. I don't know if Kayla started from anywhere specifically. Did you start from anywhere specifically? No, I just put on some random episodes and we've been watching that one. We just finished the Threat Level Midnight one where he premieres. Michael premieres his movie.
Yeah,
that one's funny. And then we watched Nacho Libre because that's also leaving soon.
Dang,
it might have
ton
left
of shit
Netflix.
leaving.
Yeah, I mean, how do you? That's I had nothing but amazing things to say about that movie. A soundtrack, beautiful. But more important than all that, that's the only thing I've watched. I am back on TikTok. It has happened.
I knew it. I should go back to the I said
Yeah,
you
go.
were going to be back on. I don't remember. I think I said a couple of months.
Yeah.
I don't remember. If somebody can remember that and let me know, because I fucking knew it. Because it's kind of dumb not to be on, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just I felt like I was missing out. The FOMO got the best of me.
You are okay now. I can follow you and send you so many TikToks. I am so annoying with how many TikToks I send people.
I hate that you have to have a phone number attached to your account in order to send messages.
Oh, do you?
Well, I tried to, one of my friends, Ricardo, sent me a TikTok and I wanted to reply and say cool or something. You know, I just wanted to respond. And I said, you must attach your phone number in order to send a message. And I said, that's BS.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, well, mine is attached because I'll send some, even when Sebastian's here and he's like sleeping or something, I'll just like send some that I think he'll like. And so I'll tell him like, oh, like look at the TikToks I sent you. And I like to watch him watch them. And the last time he did it, he opened it or one of the last times he opened it and I sent him 19.
Wow. What the hell?
I basically curate a For You page for him. Yeah,
here's
and then
my
I'll send
For You page.
I send him stuff, and then I send my friend like interior design stuff. So I don't really have that many mutual followers on TikTok, but yeah. Now I'm gonna send you a ton.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. How do you feel? Like a liar?
I feel younger. Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
A part of your generation.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of things on it. And I showed Kayla, I laughed at one of them and I showed it to Kayla and she was like, Anthony, this is like 3 months old. Like, I don't know how they show it to me then if it's like so old.
That happens sometimes. I really don't know how the algorithm works, but it's pretty spot on.
Yeah. But that's it. I got nothing.
All right. I have one bit of movie news and then we can hit a quick break, but I don't know if you've seen that Regal Cinemas may close all of the US and UK locations until next year.
I saw that. That's probably the best move. I don't know why they're open.
Well, and this comes after, so they tweeted about it, and this comes after, I think right after they announced that the new James Bond movie was going to be pushed back to April of next year. Wow. I think that was like the camel or the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing, where maybe they were holding out, being like, maybe there's one premiere that will give us, the revenue that we need. But like you said, it doesn't make sense to keep it open. It's never made sense to keep them open. I think maybe they're doing, I wonder how they're doing with, actually, like, have you seen that? I think it's AMC and the Draft House. They have showings going on, but they also have this deal where you can rent out a theater for $150, like about. And apparently that's been doing well for them. Is Regal not doing that?
I guess not if they're going to close. There's a theater here that does it. I kind of want to do it for Kayla's birthday. Just have like my roommates go and see Tenet or something.
Yeah. And then I didn't read it, but when I was scrolling before like waiting to record, I saw this one article that was like why Tenet was the worst movie at the worst time or something, like why it was released at like the worst time.
I mean,
no, wrong time, wrong movie, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the world is on pause right now. Like nothing should happen. Everything's on pause. We'll be back in 2021. Oscars not gonna happen. There's no point unless Tenet wins literally everything, because that's like what else came out this year? The Hunt came out.
I don't even know. But that's the thing that I am a little bit sympathetic to them to think that October was the time that everything would be fine. You know what I mean? Like, or just like around this time would be the time that everything would go back to normal. Because if you would have asked me even 2 months ago if I would be celebrating my birthday during the pandemic, I would have been like, I don't know. You know, like I think it was the day before my birthday, and I messaged one of my friends like, I cannot believe it's about to be my birthday.
Yeah.
It just like time this year just feels so fucking weird. So I guess I don't blame them. It is kind of dumb to make a business decision like during this year, but yeah, I don't know. Part of me wants to be sympathetic because like maybe it's wishful thinking, but
like even then, like it's not like they had to put time and thought into like we're gonna release this movie, and
yeah.
I get like, okay, it's March, we're going lockdown, balls to the wall, no one's leaving the house, right?
But nobody did that.
Right, but like the wishful thinking is, okay, we'll be fine August, October, whatever, we'll release the movie then. Like I get that wishful thinking, but once it hits June and nothing, like not a lot has changed,
Yeah,
I don't get like, all right, we're still gonna do this. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And then I see people talking about, or at least Dr. Fauci being like, we need to hunker down for the second wave. And I was like, did the first one end? Like, what? Yeah, it's going to be fucking rough. And the last thing I want to do is see a fucking movie about time travel. Or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be about. I think it's about time travel, right?
Time is... It might be the perfect movie because time is irrelevant now. So who knows?
Maybe. So weird.
Whatever. Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll be right back. Strange things start happening after a girl is found drowned in a dam in Lake Mungo. Directed and written by Joel Anderson, starring Rosie Traynor, David Pledger, and Martin Sharp. As
for money, it spent money. It cost money to make the movie, and it made money. We don't know how much. All right, just go do your own research. It was made in Australia, so yeah. As for reception, it got a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb and a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yet again, what is IMDb doing with their life?
It's also the same. That's the same exact number for Paranormal Activity.
6.3?
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate them.
Alrighty, let's get into it. So I first watched this movie in college. I do not remember how I heard about it because I instantly fell in love with it. But I soon realized that nobody had ever heard of it. Nobody had ever seen it. Nobody ever thought about it. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. But it's not like it's one of those that I can watch and be like, oh, I understand why. Like, I truly don't understand why it's not talked about more. And I will get into it a little bit later. But just kind of a background into how I know about it. Yeah. So this movie is kind of, I mean, when you search up like the best found footage horror films and this movie shows up, but it's not really, it's found footage, but it's more of a mockumentary. And it's in the form of an actual documentary. Like the way it's formatted, the way it's like edited, every single thing, it feels like a very real documentary.
Yeah, and that's what made it so scary to me, even though I watched it like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, like in the morning. And Kayla was like, I forgot you and Livia like movies like this, because she did not like it.
She got like, why didn't she like?
It's just too long, too boring, I think.
What?
Like too drawn out. But
it is a slow burn, yeah.
It is. I told her that, and she's like, yeah, I can tell already. It's going to be a slow one. But I liked it that it was like, it was an actual documentary.
Yeah, now to think about it, last night when we started watching it, Sebastian fell asleep. So maybe he felt the same way, but he just didn't say it. But yeah, And just how we start out exactly like a lot of documentaries that I have seen start out, and it's just like a bunch of pictures popping up, and it's not really pictures having to do with the movie, but it's just creepy images. And it looks like there's some like ghosts being captured, which is indicative of what happens in the rest of the movie. And then we meet the Palmer family, who is the center of this documentary. And we start out with kind of explaining what's happening with the 911 call, police footage, just everything explaining that a accident that happened in a dam, like we said at the beginning, in December of 2005. We hear a 911 call. I think it's of April's mom calling about her daughter being missing, because at this point in the movie, they just know that she's missing. And it also takes place in a town of, I remember taking note when I heard them say the town name, and I was like, okay, remember how they pronounced it. But it's basically Ararat.
Ararat. It's a rat. They live in, correct me if I'm wrong, they live in Ararat.
In my brain I said Ararat, and then my voice said Ararat.
The part of your brain that just like filters your thoughts just is like, no, rat. I took note of what they said, and they live in a rat. Gosh. Holy shit.
Off to a great start. Well, this is a city in southwest Victoria, Australia. So if you didn't know from their accents, this is not in America.
Ararat.
It's about 120 miles west of Melbourne and the Western Highway on the eastern slopes of Ararat Hills and Cemetery Creek Valley between Victoria's Western District and the Wimmera. All right. Wow. Keep all of that in. Okay.
That's not leaving.
Finally, on Christmas Eve, they find her body. They don't really... It kind of just goes straight into, like, she was missing, and then they find out that she's dead. What are you typing?
Well, because
she drowned in the dam.
Lake. It was a dam.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I think the IMDb messed me up because it said lake, but she drowned in a dam. My bad. Did they? Maybe I should have paid more attention, but like, it's kind of mysterious how she drowns, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the point, because like,
she was with her family, you know.
Yeah, and then she was with her family, and they say, because like she was swimming with her brother, and her brother got out. Mm-hmm. What was her brother's name? Michael?
Matthew
gets out. And then he turns around and she's not there, and he sees her towel. And he's like, well, if she got out, she would have taken her towel with her to dry herself off. So she's still in there.
Yeah.
And then they start looking. That's when they start looking. But yeah, it's weird because it's a dam, like a lake. I kind of get more, but the dam, there's no current. I mean, even in a lake, there's no current, but I feel like there's more. I don't know. In America, there's not a lot of dams, so
I
don't
think that's
know.
the thing that maybe I just called it a lake, because I can't think of a dam that's near us.
And frankly, I don't give a damn.
All right. So the first shocking thing in this movie, because it's not I kind of understand what Kayla means, because you can't really, if you were just to show somebody this movie, it doesn't feel scary in the least. It just feels like a Dateline episode.
I was just about to say that.
But
yeah. Because I wasn't expecting, when we picked this, I had like kind of sort of like the invitation / creep vibes.
Yeah.
Or not vibes, but like that's what I had in mind. And to see a 30-30, or not a 30-30, what am I saying? To see a 60 minutes episode, I don't know. But it gets better.
But it does kind of start off as something creepy, because the first shocking thing that that they show us is her dead body. And after this, they kind of, the parents explain how they identified it, because, I mean, if you watch a bunch of Datelines, then you know that you have to identify the body. But the mom decided not to. And the father thought it was the best if he went and saw the body. And I just can't imagine having to see your kid like that, because when you drown, you bloat a lot and you just look. And she was there for, I don't remember exactly how long, but she was there for like a couple of days at least, or a week maybe, where they didn't find her, but she just didn't look like herself, but he could tell it was her. Yeah, and I just can't imagine that night, especially because it was on Christmas Day, to go and identify your daughter's dead body, her dead, like, destroyed body. What do you do after that? I mean, you can't just like eat or just like go to bed, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. That's rough. I can't even imagine.
And then 10 days after the funeral is when weird stuff starts to happen. They hired... Wait, what? Oh, okay, so basically the dad explains that it was just like door slamming stuff, just like stuff moving around the house. And he basically explained how they hired all the people that they could think of to kind of rid them of the problems that were happening, because the first thing you don't jump to is a ghost, right? Like if you hear something crawling in your attic, you think it's a rat.
You think it's a rat.
And he hired exterminators, or he said like for termites, which I'm assuming is a big deal up there.
Down there. Up in a rat.
But yeah, but it just kept happening. And so a little bit of the mom and dad's experience that I kind of took note of is that the mom started off with having nightmares, and she said they were pretty bad, where she explained one of Alice, who is the daughter that passed away. She is like I think she said she walked from the dam, like in her nightmare, she walked from the dam and she's still like soaking wet and just standing over their bed. And this is like the first really, I mean, the dead body is obviously creepy, but this is the first really creepy part to me, because every time they explain something happening, they don't do a reenactment, which I really love, but they do show the movement of the house. So they'll show whenever she's talking about Alice, like walking and standing at the foot of their bed, then they show their foot of their bed in the dark. And it doesn't show you anything, so it leaves it to your imagination, and it's so fucking creepy.
Very creepy.
So, and just the way she describes it is so scary. And then the dad kind of, he shares his one experience that kind of made him realize something different than like a critter or just weird shit happening. And so I think he said he was awake one night where he just couldn't fall asleep. And so he heard something in Alice's room. He walked to her room, and she saw, while he was just sitting in her bed, I think he was just like looking around at her room. He said that she walked in and she was just going on like about her day, like normal, at her desk, just sat there. And then he made a noise, like I guess he shifted and made a noise, and it made her like take note that he was there. And so she like froze and then looked at him and started yelling at him to get out. And that was just also so fucking creepy.
Imagine. I don't even. Well, I mean, after that, he just goes into the kitchen and just like sobs. I think that's the only appropriate response, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you see your dead daughter. And then another good, like they have interviews of the family, but they also start, like they interview other people that knew Alice, or in this instance, I'm thinking of, they interviewed a guy that works with the dad, and they asked him if he thinks that he actually saw a ghost, and he was like, well, I believe that he did see something. So I think he was trying to say, like, I don't know. I don't know if he saw a ghost, but I do believe that maybe he saw, that he was so deep in grief that he saw his daughter.
Hallucination, maybe.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It adds to the story so much more that they interview, like, people that knew them, or just people other than the actual family.
A real 60 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And then a weird thing that the mom started to do is that she started to walk around at night because she couldn't sleep because she kept having those same nightmares. And she said that she started to walk into people's houses.
Yeah, what the hell? That was weird.
It was weird, but it was really sad. I saw this one article that explained this movie perfectly where it says it's the saddest scary movie you'll ever see. It is very sad because when they say that, I was like, yikes, why would she do that? But then she like explains that she just wanted to be in somebody's life for a little bit.
Oof. That's so sad.
It's so sad, yeah. And I also, that's one thing I really love about this movie is that I know it's going to be scary because that's why I picked it. But you can tell it's kind of like that movie Relic that I talked about a while ago, where it's not, it's scary, but it's about grief. It's not just like, that's what makes it resonate with you right after, like after you watch it, you can't stop thinking about it because it's so, even though it's about like supernatural things, it's still grounded in a lot of reality. Like that whole, like the dad, like they don't really explain the dad seeing her. They don't explain that at all, but you can tell that it's like grief can be so intense that you just start seeing shit, or you start just walking into people's houses, or I guess we can get to how the brother coped, but he basically withdrew from a lot of the stuff in his life because they said that he was super close to her, and he just stopped doing what he normally did. And he also had like strange stuff happening to him, and I don't know if they ever explained this either, but he just like had a ton of bruises all over his body.
Yeah, those videos are creepy.
Yeah, of him just like showing off his bruises. He also started to get into photography. And one of the things that he started to do, I think he did this long before she died, but he took pictures of their backyard, like I think he said every day, just so he can see the progress of them building their backyard. And one of them that he took after Alice died, when he developed them, he found that she was in one of them, like her ghost, a figure of her. Yeah, and then after this, they also show that another guy, he was at the dam for some reason, and he took a picture of the dam, and then you can also see in the very like background, you can kind of see a little like a form of Alice wearing like a jacket that she used to wear all the time. And creepy. The mom mentioned that these pictures were discomforting, which is I think the best way to describe it. But another sad part of this, because like for us it's like super creepy, but the thing that was really sad was that the mom was then convinced that Alice was still alive.
Yeah, so sad, man.
And I mean, if you remember from the beginning, she didn't go and see the dead body. Only the dad did. And so
she couldn't bring herself to it, yeah.
Yeah, and so the dad, he explained how he basically knew. He was like, yeah, that was her, like she's dead. But then he said that his wife being so sure that Alice, that this means that she's still alive, it even made him question it. Even though he saw the dead body of his daughter, he started to like think, oh, maybe it's somebody else, maybe it was a murder victim, or maybe it was just not her, and maybe it's a possibility that she's alive. So they were so adamant because of these pictures that it made them dig up her body and do a DNA test. But after they actually did the DNA test, it showed that it was in fact still Alice. So like there was not really any point in that. But after this, they still started to have a lot of like weird things happening in their house. So Matthew, the son, he's decided to set up cameras in their home to capture what was happening. And he caught a figure walking in their home. So it's different than the picture because this is actually somebody moving throughout their house. After this, June decided to seek out a psychic. I think his name was Ray. And she does this exercise with him where she closes her eyes and describes like walking into her home. I think that this was just like her walking to Alice's room, and it comes back in the in the like not the past in the end. So that's why I wanted to mention it now. But then they decide to have a seance and nothing really happened. Like after a bit of hesitation, because I think the mom was super into it. The brother was like, I guess, why not? And the dad was like kind of against it, but they decided to have it. And nothing really happened during it. But the next day, Matthew decided to look at the images or like the video that he took while they were doing the seance, and they found an image of Alice in the background. And I will say, so they have a lot of these, like the images that she's in play a huge part of this movie. And they're also like the creepiest thing of this movie because the the slow zoom ins that they do, I hated it. It made me so uncomfortable.
I was gonna say that, but it also made me laugh because
Why?
they would just like zoom in on random pictures, and they did it so often. Like they did it on just normal pictures of the family, and it kind of I was like bored of it. Does that same zoom?
It creeped me out.
It was definitely creepy, but I think they used it too much.
Oh, valid, I guess. But well, this is kind of where it comes into play because they decide to record at all times from this point. And I did mention that in my notes that they kept doing the zoom ins, like every time they would catch something. I thought they were super creepy. I thought that was pretty, like effective, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
And then after this, they get video from other people that were at the dam the same day that the older man took the photo. And this video proves that it was actually Matthew that was in the picture because they can see him walking away from the dam. So that first disproves that Alice was not in that picture. And then directly after that is when we find out that he had been doctoring all the photos and videos that they had taken up to this point. Like all the videos that had all the like pictures, like the background or the backyard one, all the seance one, like all the ones that he had that he thought proved that there was some sort of like ghost of her. He had made all of them up. And this is also a super sad part because he said that he basically did it because he knew that his mom kind of had doubts that Alice was dead. And the only way for them to exonerate the body is to have new evidence. And so he decided that was the way to do it.
Yeah, this is sad.
I agree with the mom where she's like, I don't understand his reasoning, but like, I don't, like we said, it's about grief where like you'll do crazy things to like, especially if it's your sister that you're close to, then you're not going to want to believe that it's her. Like he says that he did it because of his mom, but I'm very sure that he also he couldn't accept it. And maybe making these fake like ghost appearances of her made him feel closer to her in a weird way. I don't know. But yeah. After this is when we start to learn. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's just weird. Because one of the producers or whatever asks him like, well, didn't you think this would make it worse for your mom? He's like, I guess so.
Poor guy. I'm sure he didn't think about it. I mean, he probably thought it was helping, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I think maybe in his mind it was just not possible that she was dead. So maybe he was like, well, this is the way to figure out that she's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. After this is when we start to learn more about the family. So we learn about June and Alice and how they're super alike. So they butted heads a lot. And that's like the dad and the brother are obviously having a lot of issues with what's happening, but it seems like it's affecting the mom a lot more than it is affecting them. It's also important to note that during this time is when Matthew decided to travel with Ray, who is a psychic, for a little bit. And the reason why it's important is because during this time, they decided to just keep the cameras on at all times while they were gone, and they caught something. So this means that whatever happened, Matthew was not responsible for it. And This is also such another, like, a creepy part too. This whole, I keep saying creepy, but they caught this man in Alice's room. Or they caught, so they caught Alice like standing, and then they caught her face, I think. And then they all, or no, but those were all fake, right?
No. Yeah.
No,
So
okay, at this time.
Yeah, this one was real.
And then they, I think it was the mom that said that they zoomed in on the video of, like, I think Alice's room, and you could see a guy in the corner, which
Crouching
is
down.
Crouching down. What a creepy motherfucker. And they said the mom said she instantly knew that it was I forgot the name. It was such a good a good last name.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
The Tuies or something. Yeah, she instantly recognized him. And and then she said that she also, so she knew that it was him, and she knew exactly what he was looking for, because she had found, whenever she was going through Alice's room, she had found a safe, and in the safe was a videotape, and it's basically just some, like, the old creepy guy and his wife just doing some hanky panky with Alice. And I think I didn't realize, like, I sometimes I miss certain details, but I asked Sebastian, I was like, this is creepy, but, like, I don't know if whenever I first watched it, if I understood why it was such a big deal. And I didn't realize that she in the movie was 16.
Yeah, she's.
Well, she also, the actress just looks older. So I think in my mind, I was like, oh, maybe she's like, and I don't know. I just instantly thought she was 18. But I looked it up on, like, Wikipedia, and yeah, she's 16. So
very gross.
Very gross. And then nothing really happened with that family. I think they said that they moved away, and even the dad said that they even if they pressed charges, that the highest that they could get was, like, basically like community service. It wasn't that, but it was basically like nothing is going to happen to them, so they decided to move away. And then just a bunch of stuff, like, they're starting to uncover a lot of stuff about Alice. So they uncovered that. And then the mom was looking through her planner, and she found that Ray's business card, the psychic that had been helping with the family, his business card was taped to her planner. And she realized, or she found out from Ray, that Alice had gone to see him 5 months before she died. And they show images, or like a video of Ray and Alice, like, talking to each other. And I don't blame the mom, because the mom was pretty upset, and she was, like, basically saying how it felt like he betrayed her trust, because I didn't really mention this, but he kind of became like a family friend of sorts, because he was, like, helping them. He did the seance, and then Matthew, like, traveled with him. Then in the video that they had, like, during the movie, they were, like, friendly and just talking to each other. So it felt like such a huge betrayal to them. So yeah. And the video itself, I think it comes into play a lot more later, but she's just talking about how, I think this is the time where she says that she feels like something bad is going to happen to her. And then because of that, we finally get into Lake Mungo. So Lake Mungo it's at an actual location. It's a dry lake located in New South Wales, Australia, and it's about 760 kilometers due west of Sydney. Yeah, so you can actually go to this place. But Alice went on a trip. I think it was like a school trip with her friends, and it was just like, it looked like they were there in, like, the middle of the night, just at some dry ass lake. And it was so fucking creepy. I don't know why. I just kept thinking, like, why is that fun? But they were just, like, had flashlights. Her and her friends were just, like, having a great time. And so the videos that we see is, like, found footage from, the first one that we see is from Alice's friend's phone. And I think this is hilarious because they're from Nokia phones. It's so grainy and it's such bad quality. But so yeah, we look at the footage from her friend, and you can see, I think it's June's parents are looking at it too, and then they can see that Alice is just acting weird, and she's on the ground, like she's basically like looking at the ground, and they say that they can see and tell from this footage that she's digging up a hole. I don't know how they could see this.
I saw it.
I mean, I guess if you're looking a lot into it, then you can see it, but
yeah, it's pretty rough to see though.
Like I said, a Nokia phone. It's not great images. So this is when they decide, because she obviously like buried something, and they said that whenever she came back, she was missing her phone, a bracelet, like just a ton of shit that meant a lot to her. She was missing all of it. And so they were like, oh, it's a huge possibility that she could have buried all that shit wherever. It was like by some tree, like a huge landmark within the lake. So they decide to go and check it out.
But not during the day. They go at night.
I know. I don't know. Well, I think they said because it is a big vacation spot, and I kind of understand wanting to go at night because you don't want people to see you during the day digging shit up. But I would not. I'd be like, are you? There's no fucking way. Our daughter went here, something happened, and then she died 5 months later. No,
yeah,
thank
what
you.
the hell?
Yeah, so they went at night, and then they found everything that was missing. They dug up a plastic bag that had the phone, like all the shit that she was missing. And this is when we finally see the phone footage from Alice's phone. And it is so creepy. And I knew it was going to happen. So as soon as it started, I got so fucking nervous. But basically, it's just her. I think she breaks off from her friends, and she walks into like a dark area, and we see something. It's like just like a white, it looks like a white pole at first, and she's just walking towards it. And I think she starts walking towards it, and then she stops. And then whatever it is walking towards her, and it's like a mangled body. And her dad, like, she gets scared, and I think she like runs away, but her dad realizes after they pause the image, he realizes that it's her dead body.
I got like, I felt it in my spine. It was very creepy, and I was like,
when they also do a thing where they show it, and then they like, sometimes when they like switch videos in like found footage horror films, they have like a loud noise. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It was like a screech.
Yeah. But sorry, what were you saying?
Where they switched from the Nokia phone footage to the picture or video of the actual dead body.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
it scared
obviously
the shit out of me.
The same. Yeah, it scared me so bad. Kayla kind of wasn't paying attention. She was like on her phone. She was like, what happened? I was like, I'm legit creeped out. And she was like, really?
It's creepy.
Yeah, it ain't cool, but it is cool. Whatever.
And then June, the mother, she realizes that she thinks that Alice knew at that moment that she was going to die. Because it makes sense. There's like all these things adding up. She kept having these experiences, or I don't know. She just, I guess, I don't know if she knew that was her dead body. I think the dad kind of disputes it, where he's like, I don't know if she knew she was going to die. And I think maybe that's some denial of him not wanting to think that she knew it was going to happen and she didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so all of that happened after they left Lake Mungo and they saw the footage. They went home, and June said that as soon as they got home, it just felt like everything just suddenly became calm. Like the house, nothing happened. It just felt normal. And June mentioned, I think it was June that mentioned that she believes that Alice just wanted them to know everything. Like she wanted them to know about the Tuohys. I think that's her name, so I'm going to call them that. But the Tuohys, that she wanted them to know about Ray, just like how she was feeling about what she saw at Lake Mungo. She wanted them to see all of that and to understand her completely before she could leave. And so that's why it's suddenly calm, because they don't have the proverbial, but also I guess the literal ghost and the demons that were surrounding her life. And Lake Mungo was just the last piece of that. And it felt like after they got back from that trip, they just felt like a family again. And they decided that they were going to, we see some of them like leave, or they're packing up. They're packing up her room. They're just packing up everything, and they're going to basically just move out. They didn't say where they were going. And they also have this good, I really like this scene of them at a party. It looks like a going away party. And they're just acting normal as they can. And one of my favorite parts towards the very end is when June is having her last consultation with Ray. And it's such a good, I think that this is such a genius moment in this movie where during June's consultation, she is talking about like walking through her house the same way, like she did at the beginning. And she walks to Alice's room and she opens the door and she's just like, he asks her like, what do you see? And she said, well, there's nothing. And then during this, they intercut it with Alice's, I think, her last consultation with Ray, where she's doing the same thing. She said she's in her room and somebody opens the door. She says she knows it's her. She sees her mom, but her mom doesn't know that she's in there. And it's so sad.
Yeah. When I was watching that, I had similar reaction. I was like, man, this is sad, but it's so cool. Like just the way they intercut that story.
It's very, how I described it in my notes is it's very eerie the way that it happens, but it's very beautiful. The fact that she like, I think because her mom, like all these people in her life had started to see her after she died, but then the last moment, and they also intercut it like after they are finally moving out of the house. And they have an image of the mom packing up all of the stuff in Alice's room and leaving. And they have like the audio of Alice saying, and what she doesn't see me, she's closing the door and she's leaving.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Wow.
And yeah, and then we end with the family finally moving out of the house, but it doesn't end there. Sorry, go on.
No, you got this. Go.
So at the very end, so we end with them driving away, and then we see a picture of the family in front of the house. And this is the first picture of like a bunch of pictures that we see. But after we see this picture of the family, it slowly zooms in, and it zooms into the house. And we see in the front window that there's a figure standing there. And then the next picture, I think, is the backyard one. The one that Matthew like messed with and put Alice in, and we zoom off to the side past like the fake Alice, and we see Alice sitting on a bench. And then there was birthday footage of like Matthew celebrating his birthday after Alice was dead. And we see Alice like in the corner. And then the damn photo. Oh no, I think it's the video. They show us a different part of the video where Alice is like standing in the back. There's other parts. Am I missing one? And this is through the credits too.
I can't think of any. Yeah, this is through the credits, and I love it because like everything that they show us are all clips of the movie that we just watched. Like all those have been in the movie, but we didn't notice Alice. And as sad as it is, like it's just like her family. Like they didn't notice her. They didn't.
Yeah.
Like just like the way we didn't.
Well, they were so deep within the grief of missing her and trying to like and I think the best example of what happened is the backyard picture. That he was so just obsessed with putting her, not obsessed, what is the word? Focused on putting her in the picture so that he could create this like need to have more evidence. And she was already there. He just didn't, he didn't know what to look for.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the surrounding thing about her. As like they said, Alice kept a lot of secrets. Like even she was good at keeping secrets about the fact that she kept a secret. But they didn't, instead of like, yeah, they just didn't know what to look for. So they didn't know that she was right there the whole time. And every part too, even the dam. Yeah. And if you look at like you said, it's not like they put it at the end to kind of trick us, because I remembered that they did this, and during the movie when they show the like footage of him blowing out his candles, you can see, if you go watch the movie again, you can see her in it.
That's so awesome.
And something that Sebastian caught, or I think he found it online somewhere. If you go to the like after all the credits are done, they have footage of like Lake Mungo, and you know how at the end where there was lightning.
Yeah.
So they have footage of the lake, and when the lightning strikes, you can see like the outline of her. I can send you a picture, but it's like the very end of the credits.
Yeah, put it in the Discord or send it to me.
But yeah. Okay, so everybody knows that I love this movie because I've been saying it, but how do you feel? What do you think?
I like it. I think it was kind of a slow burn, like a lot of the stuff. It, in the grand scheme of things, it made sense, like to have it in there, but I just felt like it was worth it. But when I was watching it, I was like, this is a lot of build up. But I'm glad it paid off.
And to me, and to me, the slow burn, it's kind of slow, but I thought it was very interesting. Like I was reading an article where they said that you kind of forget it's a horror film for a while because you're just so, and the acting is so good that you're just so concerned about this family. Like they said that the way that the mother, like the way that they held themselves, like how Matthew, like even when he answered the question about like, did you think about your mom? And he was like, oh, I don't know. Like it shows him, it doesn't just, they say that he's withdrawn, but they show it. Like it's the show, not tell. Or the dad, like one thing that the article I found pointed out was that he has like bags under his eyes and he just looks so tired. Like they all just look so tired. Yeah, and it's just the little details of that. And the acting is just amazing.
Great movie.
They feel so real. Yeah, I loved it. I love this movie very much. And I hope you all liked it too. I don't have any fun facts. They didn't really have much. But
just go watch it. It's a fun one.
It's good. Oh, and I should have mentioned, but it's, if you want to watch it, it has like it's a part of a series of film, not a series, but for some reason it has like After Dark and then Lake Mungo. I don't know why. It shows you two different kinds, one that says Lake Mungo and one that says After Dark Lake Mungo. They're both the same. I don't know why it's labeled that way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is this going to be one of our first episodes to be under an hour?
Maybe. I mean, this movie kind of speaks for itself. I didn't really want to say too much.
Yeah, go watch it.
I think it's very creepy. It's pretty scary, but it's also just, it shows a great representation of grief, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good acting.
Amazing acting.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I told you I'd pick one movie, but I changed my mind.
Oh.
I have a movie that will hopefully inspire us to make a movie because it was filmed entirely on an iPhone 7. We're going to watch Unsane.
Oh, okay.
It is on, I believe, Hulu. Let me double check.
Have you seen it?
Oh, no. Prime Video. It is on Prime Video. Watch Unsane. I have not seen it.
Okay, I've seen it.
Oh, is it good?
I will see. Okay. I honestly don't remember.
I'm excited. It's Jay Farrell.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
I forgot he's in it. I love those movies. Maybe I'll prepare a list. Oh my God. I'll prepare a list of movies that are made on iPhones because there's a few.
Tangerine is a good one.
High Flying Bird is another good one. Yeah, that's
another good one. All right, let's wrap it up because I want this to be under an hour.
Alrighty.
Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Instagram at Brother Sister Show and Twitter at Bro Sis Show. Thank you.